making some French toast stuffed, and inside I have a tablespoon of this apricot mimosa skinny girl jam, 0 points, and then I've got 2 tablespoons of the PB Fit for 1 point, and then I mix in 1 teaspoon of the regular creamy peanut butter because this alone, it's okay, but this gives it more of a peanut butter taste if I just add a little bit of that, and so that's fine. That'll be 1 point for 1 teaspoon. I added half of a banana in here. I'm using 2 Sara Lee breads here, and I believe that's 2 points. I'm gonna close it up. I've got a couple of eggs here. I'm out of egg whites, and I'm gonna just stuff that and make some French toast and cook that up for breakfast. All right, here it is. This breakfast is 6 points without the syrup. With 2 tablespoons of the sugar-free syrup, it's going to be 7 points because this is going to be 1 point. And then I have, I'm including my 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk. I put the rest of the banana up on top, and that is going to be my breakfast. Had 2 cups of Skinny Pop for a snack, and then took the kids to a Mexican restaurant for lunch with the family. I had a bean and cheese burrito, a few chips dipped in the guacamole, came home and had a soup for dinner. All right, next morning, a simple parfait of triple oikos yogurt for 2 points, a little bit of the skinny jam on a 1 Food for Life toast, which I cut up and put on an apple with the yogurt, mixed it up with 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal, and then I ended up adding 1 tablespoon of raisins, and this was a really filling way to start the morning. Okay, I just got back from grocery shopping, and I wanted to show you some of my haul. These are not just for 1 week, but probably more like 2 weeks. And so I went to Walmart, and then I went to Sam's Club and dropped by Trader Joe's. So I'll start over here. I've got a bag of lemons here for lemon water and whatever, a big bag of potatoes because I have not cut out potatoes. I just count them and I use them in my daily carb, I want to say consciousness, because I will just have them at certain times and I keep track of how many carbs I have and what kind that I have, and I like the carbs which have a lot of fiber in it. And potatoes definitely fit that bill. They're also satiating. Now Walmart carries these nut pods in the really big containers, and so I really like them. I will put this in my oatmeal and in my tea, but not in my coffee. I don't feel that it's as thick enough for my coffee. Honey makes a latte for me, but he uses unsweetened almond milk when he does it, and he froths it, and it's pretty good. But for tea and oats, this is really wonderful. A bunch of egg whites. It's cheaper at Walmart, so I grabbed a couple of those because Honey and I use that in the morning. We will mix it with 1 egg, and this will really bump up the protein. I got this nearly naked popcorn. This one is cheddar. I usually get the original one, but Sam's Club had this one, so I'll try it. I really love popcorn. It really helps to keep the calories down and keeps them satiated. Pop chips. I'm getting that for my family instead of like regular potato chips. I'm in the garage right now. And this is about 100 calories less than a small bag of regular chips. And also the regular ones will have like 15 grams of fat, whereas this one will have like 4. So that to me is a big, big difference. So it's good to have some sort of a salty snack to go with your sandwiches for the ready. All right, the berries, I have a ton of berries, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries. The blackberries were like 2 something, so I loaded up on those. They're really sweet right now. I got peaches. What we do with peaches is I will boil water and I will blanch them and skin them, de-skin them. Did you hear that airplane? Sorry. And then I just serve it on a plate with a knife and a fork, and we just enjoy it like a real decadent dessert. Summer peaches are here for such a short time, and they are so wonderful. You know what would be a really nice treat is if you just took some frozen raspberries, cooked them down, maybe add a little bit of swerve or something, make a coulis, so a little bath of coulis at the bottom of the plate, and set this peach on top, piece of mint on top. Oh my goodness, what a dessert. Okay, I did get some baby food, prunes, because in my last video or two, I mentioned that this is really good for baking, especially if you don't use applesauce. One thing I notice is that I do bake with applesauce, but I've noticed when I use the prunes, these are, I don't know, there's something in them that makes the bread extra soft. It just gives it a whole level of softness and sweetness, even more than the applesauce. So these are good to put in the pantry, and it's a good fat replacement for your baked goods. I've got some purple onions for salads, lots of celery sticks to munch on, asparagus. These are from Sam's Club. I buy this ham. It's a quarter ham. It's smoked ham. It's really not that heavy on points, but I buy a big one like this because I could use it for my family for sandwiches and for breakfast. And so one of them goes a long way for us. And then my family uses the Colby Monterey Jack cheese. This is not light, so if I use this, I will just use 1/2, and then I think that's 2 points. I've got eggs, another plane going overhead, cauliflower, bell peppers, grapes. The grapes were on sale today. I've got a melon. I've got back here. I've got coleslaw. I can do a whole lot with coleslaw. Grapefruit, and then I've got some ground pork, which is 80% lean, and then beef, which is 93% lean. So what I'll do is sometimes mix up these two, and that will give the beef a really, really good flavor to mix it with a little bit of pork. And so I'm going to do that for some of our meals. All right, I'll show you. Picked up some uncured turkey bacon at Walmart. Helps to bring the points down from regular bacon. I also had to pick up some more orzo because I use it in soups sometimes, like in that lemon soup, and I went out. So I like to make sure I'm stocked on that. Also picked up some bananas with the cantaloupe. Picked up a monster watermelon. It's got a nice yellow spot on one side. Very heavy, and the place where the vine is nice and dry, so that should be kind of ripe. Nice striations. Look at that, nice and dry there. I hope this is a good one. Okay, some other things that I picked up here at Walmart. Instead of putting butter, if I ever put butter on my toast, which sometimes I just choose to do jam so that I don't count the points. But if I do, I will use this. It's yogurt. It's a yogurt spread from Bromo and Brown, and I'll just use maybe less than like a teaspoon, but that's really good. So that's what we use instead of margarine in our house. I did find the Skinny Girl sugar-free raspberry Bellini. I thought that was fabulous, and a tablespoon of this is 0 points. And I really love the Skinny Jams. Our viewer, Sparkly Susan, she is the one who told me about it. Thanks a lot, Susan. I love them. I just love them to pieces. Picked up some more sugar-free syrup because I make my family a lot of pancakes, and we go through this stuff, so I like to keep up on that. Stock up on that, stock up on applesauce. I always get the unsweetened, so that it's 0 points per serving. And sometimes when I'm hungry and I just need a snack, 1 serving of applesauce. It's got a lot of fiber and sweetness, and it just does the job. It's really, really a good alternative for me. This is Honey's coffee. He likes the Black Rifle Coffee Company. I believe they're in town, but they do sell at Walmart. All right, some other things I picked up at Trader Joe's were these Persian cucumbers. Those go really well in salads, or I'll cut them up for Honey's lunch, and he'll just eat them with a little salt on them. I always buy the unsweetened almond milk there. This one's organic, and this is it is, I think, 1 point for 8 ounces, and it's pretty cheap. It's like $1.99 at Trader Joe's, so that's where I buy it. I got some shredded kale to maybe make a lower fat zuppa toscana this week. I've got these peas. I like the fresh shelled peas, and I actually steam them with like a mixture of veggies that goes really well on rice. I'll have to show it to you. Kind of a Middle Eastern type flavor, and my hubby likes it a lot. I get the raw pumpkin seeds there. Raw pumpkin seeds on a salad or on like your breakfast cereal or added to yogurt. This you can get like a tablespoon of that, or even 2, I think, for 0 points. And you get protein in this and also crunch. And it just really adds a nice little flavor. Trader Joe's sells delicious chopped salad kit during the summertime. So they said this is for a limited time, and it comes with pickle flavored chips and pickle powder in it, and it's just got a pickled dressing. It's just really cute, and my husband really likes it. So we're gonna buy one of those every time I go. This is new to me. I have not seen this. Organic spaghetti squash nests. Now, they're dry. This is from Trader Joe's. And I guess what you do is you're going to bring 4 quarts of water to a boil. And then you're going to add this. It's dried. And then boil it for 5 minutes. And then you drain it. And then toss it with your, your sauce or whatever it is. But it's dried spaghetti squash nest. So you're just going to rehydrate it. And I thought that looked really interesting, so I'm going to try it. I also got some arugula for some salad and some French bread as well. Okay, guys, this is my Achilles heel. This is what I've struggled with for months. Trail mix. I will only want this after lunch, between lunch and dinner, and I have to really pace myself on it, but this can trip me up every time. I have this, everybody in my family loves it, so I love to keep it in a jar, but I have to really calm myself when I have it. So I did look at the ones that were prepackaged, and the prepackaged ones were little pouches for 170 points for 50 grams. This is 140 points for a quarter cup, which is 30 grams, which I think is plenty. Honestly, it's plenty. I think the temptation with this is that you try to pick out all the good stuff, and then you're no longer at 140 calories if you're picking out more of the M&Ms and the raisins, you know what I mean, than the peanuts. So this I struggle with. That is my Achilles heel right there, and I'm being very honest. Here's my 5-point breakfast here. I have 2 of the Food for Life whole grain breads for 2 points. And the interesting thing about that is that the Sara Lee bread is good, and I get the same thing, 2 for 2 points, but I find that this one fills me up much more. The Food for Life is the sprouted grain, and it just seems to stay with me longer and really fill me up. So I'm having those, a half of a tablespoon of regular creamy peanut butter from Sam's Club, 1 tablespoon of the raspberry Bellini from Skinny Girl for 0 points, and then 0 points 1 apple, 0 points for my 1 egg and 2 egg whites, and that is going to be my 5-point breakfast. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning. I hope you're going to have a wonderful week. I just wanted to touch base a little bit with you on snacks and on dealing with the tough time of our day. One of our viewers had mentioned something about maybe dinner being a rough time, the roughest time of the day for her, and the biggest challenges come out then. And I thought about it, and I said, you know what? The biggest challenge for me, I think, would have to be between lunch and dinner. So right after lunch, after I have my lunch, I'm tempted to have trail mix. And in the past, I've really gone there, and so I love to keep it because it's one of the snacks that my kids love, and I guess we all love it, but I really have to curb myself with it, and I think that maybe I need to look at it another way. So I'm looking up some tips on how to handle those snack problems. I don't feel like snacking in the morning between breakfast and lunch. I always make sure I get a lot of fiber and protein in the morning at breakfast, and I think I should learn from that and maybe make sure that that meal planning carries on throughout the day. I think, wanting to go for the trail mix for me is more of a mental thing. It's like I want something nice after. I don't know how to describe it except for I feel food itchy. I feel a little food itchy. And that's what makes me want to go for something sweet or something like that at that time. Some of the points and encouragement I could share with you today on battling whichever meal is your hard, challenging meal or time of day would be some of these points. And number one, you always hear drink water, right? Drink water if you really, for me, yeah, I'll drink some water, but then I have to think again, and I have to think, am I hungry enough to have an apple or some carrot chips? And if I'm not, then I know I'm not really hungry. I will focus on doing something else. And that does seem to work. So maybe I should put that to work after lunch. Another thing is, for me, it always helps if I maybe get on the treadmill just for 15-20 minutes after I eat. And then what happens is that my body lets go of those endorphins. I start feeling good and I am not hungry anymore. And I can just go on and do something else. It's totally redirected me. And that really does help a lot. Now, sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you can't walk, get on the treadmill, do something like that. Another thing to consider then is to add protein to those meals. One thing I'm going to do is I am going to section out a few servings, I want to say half servings of trail mix, and I'm going to pair them with a little baggie of carrot chips. And then that way I'm feeling like, yes, I'm getting the trail mix, but I'm kind of like the nicotine gum when you're trying to quit cigarettes, it's like I'm going to add less and less of it. And then hopefully maybe I'll just redirect myself. Let's see if that works. Adding protein to meals always does help me to stretch because, as I said, for breakfast, it really helps me to stay non-snacking between breakfast and lunch. So I need to make sure that my lunch protein is adequate as well. Maybe that'll help. It's really mental for me though, so it's quite a challenge. The next thing is number 4, keep your hands busy, right? Maybe have a little project or something that you're working on that you can direct your focus on. And one thing that really helps me when I'm redirecting myself, keeping my hands busy, is that I still haven't got over using my mouth, right? And so a cup of hot tea or cold tea, something like that, just having something nice with you. Tea always really, there's so many different flavors, and it really helps to keep my focus saying, okay, I am satiating myself this way. In the meantime, I'm working on something. That has seemed to help in the past too. Number 5, avoid the snack foods in the house. And I know a lot of you are thinking that, Kat, just don't buy the trail mix. And I know it's just one of those nice things that we have, that the kids really look forward to. I give them a quarter cup after they're done with lunch. And then that's when I go, yeah, it looks pretty good. But I'm going to address mine in a different way. But it is something that we do like to have in the house. And if it's not that trail mix, it'll be another kind of trail mix. So I think I really have to deal with it in another way, other than just avoiding keeping it in the house, because I do have kids and they do eat snacks like that. Number 6, get more sleep to avoid eating by stress. And I don't have a problem with that. I take progesterone once every night and it just puts me right out. So I don't have to worry about that. I get plenty of rest, plenty of sleep, and that's great. Number 7, reevaluate your meals. So that's just what we're talking about now. I mean, if you're not feeling satiated enough and you're feeling like you need to snack more, then maybe look at the fiber and the protein at the meals that you are having. I mentioned a little earlier that the Sara Lee bread, I really do appreciate the low points of it, and there's a place for it for me. But in the morning, it really does help me to not snack between breakfast and lunch if I have the higher fiber Food for Life bread, because it is really dense and it just stays with you. And again, it's only 1 point each that's the sprouted grain per each slice, just like the Sara Lee bread, but I feel like I'm getting more. Anyway, hopefully maybe some of those tips will help you. If not, if you got any tips on how to deal with snacking during the challenging times, or what would you do if you encountered the trail mix? How would you
If that was your Achilles heel, how would you handle it? Let me know down in the comments below. And I wish you guys all the best today. Love you a lot, and I'll see you later.